We are live. Okay, everyone. We are kind of getting towards the end, but we've saved some really good stuff for the latter portions. We're back with James Haft from PALCapital. And of course, this is Digital Week Online. As I like to say, the highest energy show on Zoom. So we have another demo. I believe it's VeVe. And James, I'm going to hand it to you and take it from here, please. All yours. And wait, expert tip, take yourself off mute.
I do my best talking on mute.
So all yours. Bye.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you, Gordon, so much. Thank you, Digital Week Online. We're sitting now between two sections. The first section we just closed was corporate adoption of blockchain and how blockchain enables new and interesting opportunities for enterprise. And then later, after this demo, we're going to be going into gaming and entertainment and how that's going to usher in mass adoption of blockchain and the crypto world. And this is the perfect segue. The gentlemen that we have with us, Daniel Crothers and David Yu, are the founders of VeVe, which is a digital wallet which enables you to, as a user, experience comics and entertainment assets in ways that you've never been able to personally relate previously. And although it's built on a blockchain platform, you don't know that as a user. Becomes your own personal, intimate library of assets with comics and other entertainment, where you're able to now enjoy your assets, acquire them, trade them in all the ways you've done historically, but now do it in a way which is personal, where you can do it all through the day and create your community and enjoy it. And this touches both consumers and the big businesses that back the brands that we all like to participate with. And so Dan and David, you take it over from there, please.
Yeah, thanks, James, for the intro. I'm just going to share my screen, and then we can dive into the demo. Okay, you guys can see that all right? Yep. Cool. So, yeah, thanks very much, guys, for tuning in today with the demo. My name is Dan. I'm the co-founder and COO at VeVe, and I'm here with David, fellow co-founder and CEO. Today, yeah, we are very excited to be giving you a first look at VeVe, which is an app that allows you to collect digital collectibles from your favorite brands in premium digital format. And really the whole idea around VeVe is that we wanted to bring the physical world of collecting that fans absolutely know and love into the digital world, into the palm of your hand, and provide a really cool and innovative way to collect. So VeVe itself is not just digital collectibles. In order to mirror the collecting experience that happens in the physical world, we needed to make VeVe a digital collectible ecosystem. So the whole app itself is comprised of 5 main sections, which you can see across the bottom there. We've got store, collection, feed, market, and profile. So right now we're looking in the feed. In the store. This is where VeVe sells collectibles directly to our users. And as I scroll down, I start to see recommended content based on what I've previously purchased, what I've liked, what I've commented on, and so forth. And as you can see, you know, VeVe has secured many of the world's top brands and top IP, offering these as digital collectibles in the in the NFT space. So the way the VeVe store works is it's all revolves around these drops. And these drops come out at Thursdays, 8 AM PST. And they contain a number of different brands, as you can see here. And then within those brands, we have a number of different collectibles. So I'm going to tap on one of my favorite here, Batman Black and White Series 1. And as I scroll down, I can see all of the individual collectibles that are in this particular drop. So there's 5 Batman Black and White characters in here. I can see things on these little collectible cards. I can see the name, the price, the rarity from common right through to ultra rare. And I can see other things like how many editions are left and so forth. To view more details about a collectible, I simply just tap on it. And then as I scroll down, I can do other things like I can like the collectible, I can bookmark it for later. I can share it both internally within the app and of course right across social. And even though these are digital collectibles, NFTs, they are super easy to purchase through an in-app purchase. I simply hit buy now, and that collectible, edition number 27, now belongs to me and is in my library. As I scroll down further, I see more details about the collectible. You can see actually up the top here that I already own 3 editions of this, and there are 6 available in the market. And then I see all the details like when it dropped, its original price, and so forth. So the store ultimately functions around all of these drops, and I can use all these different categories across the top and down here to browse the store in different ways. Now, once I own a collectible, these all appear in my collection tab. This is where you as the owner of these digital collectibles get to experience and interact with your collection. So across the top here, we've got all of my virtual showrooms. You can see I've got 3 there, but I can actually create as many as I want. As I come down further, I see all my individual collectibles that I own. So coming down a bit further, I can track all of my sets. You can see I've got some badges here. That's because I've completed these sets. Further down, I can start to create my custom lists. These are the collectibles that I want front and center in my collection. So I've got Adventure Time, Batman, Ultraman, and I can very easily add another custom list just by simply typing in the brand, Powerpuff Girls, and I can very easily add another list to my screen, like so. So it allows you to have all of your collectibles front and center. Now, let's have a look at one of the actual collectibles you own. I think today we're going to have a look at the DeLorean from Back to the Future, because who doesn't love the DeLorean? So right now I'm in my collectibles screen, and I'm just going to filter this by my Back to the Future. And I'm going to click on the collectible. And what I'm doing now is actually loading the limited edition 3D model. So with VeVe, you're not getting just a 2D image, you're actually getting a very detailed 3D model replica of the DeLorean. And as you can see, when I zoom in here, even though I'm running off a mobile device, the detail is still very, very high. Now, this particular collectible is a little bit interactive, so I can open all the doors and I can sort of, zoom right in and have a good look. But one of the main objectives, for these collectibles is even though they're digital, we wanted to make sure that users could still see them in the real world. So to that end, we've got a fully integrated augmented reality, and I'm going to do a quick demo over here.
Yeah, so the idea here is to let the users really experience with the object, the collectibles. In this specific mode, you can resize them, make them bigger, and then can actually physically walk into the car, see how the car looks like inside. The doors are all fully interactive, and the beauty of this mode is that you can take photos with it. And there's actually me over here. Hello, guys. And ideally is that you'd be parking this next to your real car outside. I tried it, parked next to in the petrol station, took a photo of it and posted. It looks amazing. In this specific one, there's a control button there, so you can actually use it like a remote control car in this bit. So we do have 3 tiers of different vertical of collectibles. We have interactive, and then we have statues, as you will know, as static, and then we have animations in it.
So that gives you a little bit of an idea about, what the type of collectibles or NFTs that you're purchasing through VeVe. We really try to take it to the next level. In the physical world, you collect these physical items, and we try to replicate this as close as possible with the VeVe app. So another, huge part of collecting is that every collector in their house, they have either a room or a shelf where they display their collection, and they always display this, with pride. So for us, it was very important that we bring this experience into the digital space. So to that end, all VeVe users can have virtual showrooms, and they can have as many as they want. What we're looking at here is a showroom that I've set up, and this is the free VeVe gallery. So you can see it looks a little bit like a gallery. Now, keep in mind that when I created this room, it was completely empty. So all the collectibles you see in here are the digital collectibles that I've purchased through the store. And then I've obviously added them into the showroom and placed them where I want. So let me just give you a quick example of that. I can tap any one of these collectibles, move them around. I can scale it up or down, rotate it. I can even do that with the objects in here, like these shelves. So the whole idea is that, you know, as a collector, you can get really creative and display your collection the way that you want. Additionally, all of these showrooms are fully shareable with all other VeVe users. So for example, you know, I can create this showroom. I can share it on our internal social feed. And then, of course, anyone who's a VeVe user can then come into my showroom and have a look around, give it a like if they like it, drop a comment, maybe say that, hey, you want to buy some of these collectibles off them. And of course, we still have all the interactivity within these showrooms. So let me just walk up to our beautiful 1966 Batman. Okay, I can open the door, of course. I can even turn the siren on. And if we have a quick look over here, the steering wheel, of course, works, and I can move that round. And then, oh, let's get that out of the way. And then, of course, I can find the perfect angle, and I can take a photo. I can take a photo anytime, anywhere, and I can share that right across our internal feed or within social. Now, these rooms additionally will also come themed. So we will be bringing out, you know, different themed rooms like Batman, obviously Ultraman, Adventure Time, and so forth. Now, we also wanted to make sure that these showrooms were available in augmented reality. So I'm just going to give you a quick demo of that as well.
So the idea of this mode, once again, when you share it with your friends, they can be in London, New York, anywhere in the world, invite them in, and it gives you a true one-to-one walk-in feel. So not sure if you guys can see Daniel, he's actually walking around with his iPad into the showroom. And really, idea from here is really to be very creative. And there's different shelves that I'm actually in the real world over here again. Yeah, the whole idea is the experiment. What VeVe, what we really wanted to do is to bring the experiment, the fun, the creativeness. We will have 3D and 2D artwork coming out, and you know, a lot of exciting things. Here's another showroom where everything is in augmented reality. Where we really believe is that the wearable devices like the Apple glasses and other devices that's coming out in the future will become huge in play, where you want to be putting on your glasses, scan the floor, and then tap it. There's your display of all the collectible on your shelf. The idea is that you can show off your collectibles anywhere. And once again, every single item, you can touch it, almost like move it around like if it was real. Like the DeLorean, you can tap the door, it opens up. What we, you know, just going back again, how important for us it is to have that, you know, experience. And then the last one's quite cool. It's really about, you know, collecting is all about sharing, about going viral, about the pictures, the breaking rights. So here's another last one. Anyone like myself, I can actually jump in and follow over.
I love that.
Way, you can walk around, you can share that instantly in your Instagram, your Facebook, your favorite, your TikTok, anywhere. Yeah, there we go.
So you see that, you know, that gives you a really good idea about what you can do with your collection, from your virtual showrooms right through to the viewing and the customization of your individual collectibles. And then, of course, there's a whole lot of cool things you can do with them in AR as well. The next section within the app is the social feed. Now, you know, when it comes to collecting, a lot of the time it's about bragging rights. You get that Comic-Con exclusive, you get that edition #1. You know, you want to be able to post it and show it on the feed. Now, the feed has two kind of purposes. Number one is for the social side of things. And then in addition, the feed offers me curated content, again, based on what I've purchased, what I've liked, and so forth. James, just let me know if we're going over time. The next section of the app is the market. Every collectible industry needs a secondary market. So within here, this is where users can buy, sell, and trade with each other. It's very, very easy to list and sell one of these digital collectibles or NFT through VeVe. I simply just tap on the selling button.
Hey guys, just heads up, we're kind of close to wrap up, so
okay,
30 more seconds,
sure,
another minute, go for it. But we're gonna have to move on to the next one. This is absolutely fascinating, though. I want it. This is a really
that's what I'm hoping.
yeah, no, it's great, and I like all the Batman stuff. But
yeah,
keep going.
I can absolutely wrap it up. Yeah, did I have a little bit more time or?
30 seconds.
Okay, cool. So yeah, super easy to sell an item. I click on add, choose the collectible I want to sell, enter a price, and now that's listed in the market. Anyone else can buy it. Super easy, super simple. So really, yeah, the whole idea here is to bring that physical collecting experience that fans know and love, all of the brands you love, high quality 3D with an awesome experience in the digital collectible space.
Good job, guys.
Fantastic. Really nice demo. I really appreciate it. And a great segue into our next discussion, which is going to be talking about gaming and entertainment and how that's going to help lead to mass adoption of of blockchain concepts. Gordon, did I step on your toe here?
No. I'm kidding. I like sitting back. So I think they're probably going to pause the live stream for a second. I'm not sure. Ivan, let us know.
Yeah, we are live. So
we are live. Well, then fine. James, back at you. And Ohnogi, Masaru. Yep. Gordon here. Good to see you. James, go.
Everybody, welcome to what I think is the last session of Digital Week Online. I have welcomed a really interesting panel of companies and people who are going to talk about how gaming and entertainment are going to be essential to the mass adoption of blockchain and crypto. I think you're going to learn that it's really about entertainment and helping people do the things they already love to do without knowing that they're using blockchain. And so with that, I'll introduce now Daniel Crothers from VeVe, who just gave a presentation, my good friend, Christian Hetchel from TradeStars, and Masaru Ohnogi, who is from Thirdverse, which is a really interesting platform. If I could ask each of you for 1 minute or less, this never works, but 1 minute or less, just to introduce yourself and your platform so we could launch in without taking up too much time on the intros. So Daniel, why don't you start?
Yep, sure. Thanks, James. Yeah, so my name is Dan. I'm the co-founder and COO at VeVe. VeVe offers digital collectibles or NFTs from your favorite brands in a in premium digital format. And, it's very topical to this particular forum. We are about bringing this kind of NFT blockchain space to the masses, but in a package that is very, very clean, very easy to use, and, draws people in with the brands and the content that they really love.
Fantastic. Christian, you're on mute, Christian.
Awesome. Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm Chris. I'm co-founder of TradeStars. TradeStars is a decentralized exchange for fractional NFTs, actually. What we're doing is tokenizing the real-life stats of athletes into NFTs that then we fractionalize. So users can buy and sell shares of them. And the economic incentives for the user rewards is based on real-life performance of the athletes.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Nogi?
Hi, I'm Nogi. I'm a co-founder of the Thirdverse. But Thirdverse is actually the VR gaming company, not a blockchain. But I previously worked for Gumi. Gumi is a mobile gaming company. Then we diversified the business, and then we established a crypto fund called the Gumi PALCapital. And I'm part of it before, but I've been the VR, and then I've been stepped out for a while. But still, our business concept is just combine the VR virtual world and the crypto. That's why I could talk about it a little bit with entertainment. Yeah.
So Nogi, tell us about your platform. What's the user experience?
So So we are a VR gaming company, but our company named the Thirdverse. Then we are metaverse, and then third place, which is somewhere in the different from the current the universe. And we are trying to create those third place in the virtual world. That's why we say the company was the Thirdverse. And then, but still, it's not easy to create completely completed the virtual world. That's why we started develop and creating the game first in the VR. And then currently, the first game we provided, it's a sword fighting game. It's we say it's a hyper realistic. It's a real feeling you have. And then we are now preparing second game called the Frostpoint. That's a 10 versus 10 VR shooter game. It's also very immersive experience. It's very intense, very the fast-paced game.
And so each of you guys, and feel free to jump in with each other. So if you're talking to each other, that's perfectly fine if I fade into the background. How do users interact with your platform? How do they learn about it? And how do they actually, are they doing it through a console, through a handheld? What's the way that I'm actually experiencing? Dan, why don't you start?
Sure. So right now, VeVe is available initially on a mobile device. So it'll be available on Android now and coming to iOS very soon. And we will also be rolling out a web version a little bit later, in early next year. And, really the way that people interact with our app, we don't try to advertise the fact that we're blockchain or that, you really can dive deeper into the app to really explore that world if you want to. As I mentioned earlier, we're about, attracting users in with the brands that they love. I mean, a Batman fan, he has a t-shirt, a poster, all the movies, maybe a model of one of the Batmobiles. And now he can have, he or she can have these digital collectibles of his favorite characters, whether it's a Batmobile or a Batman. And then with the, as they come into the app and they start to buy the collectibles and learn a little bit more about it, as at that point, we start to sort of say, hey, did you know that there's this other layer behind, what we've got with the collectibles, and you can, do other cool things with them.
And Christian, same question. Yeah. How do people interact with you? How do they find out about you?
Well, we started with our aim is to be massive. So we put a lot of focus from the start. We are using blockchain as the underlying technology for this. This has a tremendous advantage for us if you compare other fantasy sports platforms. But the real challenge here is to hide the layers for the users, for normal users to play without knowing, private keys of a wallet or signatures and everything. So we took a radical approach to that, and we try to hide all those layers. The users just register as in a normal platform with their email, and as soon as they register, they can deposit and they can play. We implemented meta transactions for that, and we are into a layer 2 network, which is Matic, and that's allows us to pay for the user's transaction. So we made we put a lot of effort in doing that, because we think that we can leverage on this technology, but the final goal is for normal people to use the platform as they were using another fantasy sport platform or another game, let's say. It's a web-based.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I couldn't agree more, Chris. Like, I mean, that's exactly how you need to do it. Get rid of all of these sort of technological layers, make it very easy onboarding for the user.
Yeah, we started with the first version was, you had to have a MetaMask, and use when you do a transaction, you need to sign it. So it's hard to do it. You are putting a lot of barriers for the final user. With the approach we had, we were seeing numbers, conversion rates of 20% like that. So it's pretty amazing that once you clear that from the user, it's very easy to onboard actually, and their experience is much better.
And Nogi, how do you find users and how do you onboard them and how are they interacting with the third verse?
Okay, so our story is a little bit different because we are VR, and then VR is totally depends on the device penetration, and then personally in the industry since 2015, and then generally said the market expansion speed was actually much slower than we expected. And I know so many VR gaming startups before, but they already gave up. But what we are trying to do is now, I'm based in San Francisco, and then I work closely with say, Facebook, Oculus, because they are fully committed for the future. And that is one of the approach, because they have a media, they have influencers, and then we work together and then try to reach out new users with those, like partners. That's we are trying to do, expand our, the brand. But experience-wise, it's again, it's a VR. So existing game is, even mobile, console, PC, users he always monitor. But VR is, the user is going into the monitor, and it's a 360 experience. That's why you feel like it's a VR. And that's why we feel in the future, it's once it's become the standard, people grab something. It could be the money, and it could be the crypto. That's what we are thinking. And then try to the trade the in-game item with the cryptocurrencies. That we are trying to realize in the future. But current focus is realize more like realistic experience in the VR.
Right. And Nogi, do you see people kind of living a second life inside a VR platform? Do you see that becoming a new aspect of the normal life?
Yeah, I think so. Especially since late this March, this pandemic started, people stay home, and then not only VR, but home entertainment, made a big growth. But it's also in the VR, and people want to communicate with people. Then VR has a more like realistic experience. Feel like someone is right next to you. That's why that's very special experience for the users.
And Christian, has the pandemic affected you in any way?
Yeah, I mean, suddenly all sports, stopped around the world. So if it affected us in a negative way, let's say, but at the same time, we took that as an opportunity. We started looking for other verticals to add to the platform, because we didn't know if the sports were about to come back in, 6 months, 8 months. Now it's coming back, and now we are investing in marketing again. But at that moment in April, everything got stopped, and we started approach esports and also other verticals, radical things like celebrities and that. And it also helped us to understand that our concept is broader and more, more broader than sports, and we can apply the similar thing of fractionalizing NFTs with different things. For example, celebrities. Actually, we have because of this, we have an agreement with an Indian company, and we are doing the next vertical for this, which would be around celebrities and influencers. So it affects us, but we took as an opportunity to think or to rethink the model, and yeah.
And so, one of my philosophies about mass adoption is to fish where the fish are, right? These people that come to me with their platform and they think that just announcing it is going to attract people, I find that to be, a high risk strategy for launching. So if you guys could talk to me about, what audiences are you trying to approach? Who controls those audiences now? And how are you trying to leverage real world existing communities and brands in order to create relevance and to get yourself to be habituated into people's daily activities? Dan, you want to start?
Yeah. So, it's a very, very good question. I mean, from our side, it's all about attracting people through the brands that they already love. I mean, the reality is there's probably 10 million or even more Batman fans out there right now. And as I mentioned before, we offer them a new way to sort of collect the cool things that they want. So for us, in terms of targeting our audience, we obviously work with many different brands, and the way that we can target these guys is like, for example, with Batman Black and White, our digital collectible line, it's impossible to buy these collectibles in the real world. So we'll be advertising in the back of the comics, along with, DC. We'll be partnering with our brand partners to, co-market across social channels. And obviously a huge range of sort of digital advertising, marketing. And if you go on YouTube and look up collectible influencers, there are thousands of them. I mean, people who just literally dedicated to Batman, dedicated to Ultraman. So for us, the angle, the approach that we sort of attack it from is not necessarily saying, hey, come and look at our cool tech, or hey, come and look at our cool app. It's about reaching out to our fans and, connecting with the collectors and say, hey, here is an entirely new way. You can have Batman one-to-one next to you in your living room. In the future, you might even be able to do a little shuffle with him, post it on TikTok. So yeah, that's a little bit more our approach with, again, our audience is about the mass market. So we use fairly traditional techniques to attract the audiences the same way as that we would, I guess, if we were retail, but we're driving them directly into the app.
Awesome.
Chris, sorry.
Should I go?
Yeah,
we are using traditional channels, actually. I mean, we are first. I mean, obviously, we are approaching to real sports and real athletes and teams. But for the first stage, we are using traditional channels. We fish in social channels and networks. I mean, sports is something that's very passionate, and it's worldwide. I'm sure that we always, everyone here had a discussion with a friend about if that player or the other player, if he would, play better or not. So it's a thing that, gather people together, and we are using. We always say, if you go to the site, you'll see that how much your sports knowledge is worth, right? That's what we are trying to that's our message, right? I mean, we are giving the users the opportunity to invest in their passion in some way, and to, compete against their friends, to at the end, telling their friends that, okay, I know more than you about sports. So the channels, I mean, at the first, for reaching that target audience is, social networks and yeah, social networks. I believe that that's the main channel for gathering this type of users in our site. At least what we've been doing until now.
And Ohnogi, how do you find users?
Yes. So BR, the targeted user, is actually, being changing very rapidly. Because initially, when their device company launched their first device, it was cost about $800, but it's not a standalone. And you need a very high spec PC, which is like $2,000 or something. And the total cost, the user have to invest like almost $3,000. Who buy it, right? The versus the PS4, it's like $299 or $399. And then as far as we see the console device history, if it's more than $500, nobody buy it. But the VR device, getting smaller and standalone device came up. And then we really feel a big opportunities right now because the Facebook Oculus just launched a standalone device called the Oculus Quest 2. And this is a high-end device and then very high resolution. And the price is only $299. It's really reachable for everyone. This is a good timing to reach our mass market. And then way of the marketing branding way also, the expanded. Because like I told you, we need to work with the platform device companies. But right now, many people started taking it. And our company is originally in Japan. And then Oculus started TV commercial only for the Oculus device. They started the mass marketing. That's, I think, the big opportunities for us right now.
And so right now, is the market ready for you guys do you think, or are we still too early? Because that's always, everyone's excited and everyone thinks it's amazing, and you watch the demo and it's, oh wow, but is the market really ready for each of your businesses, and do you really see the ability to start real communities? So, Nogi, start off. Anyone start off?
Okay.
Question, actually, yeah.
Yeah. So, end of 2019, the number of high-end VR headset penetration was only 10 million. But versus, the Nintendo Wii, it's like the 100 million.
Right.
It's 110. And even the Nintendo Switch, it's a 50 million. So it's still growing. So someone says it's a small market, and VR is so small. But we see this is opportunities because the number of headset is actually growing.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure compared with console gaming, because it's if it's console game, the market size is already like a 50 million or 100 million devices. Not yet, but it's gonna catch up soon. That's why I think it's almost ready. But a blockchain, especially blockchain game, because my previous company Gumi invested one of the top blockchain game called My Crypto Heroes, and it started very solidly, but after that a little bit got stable, and I don't know right now because I left, but I don't know it's become like other the AAA hit titles in console. That's why I just want to know other one's opinions.
Yeah, I mean, from a technology perspective, there are some struggles that need to be solved. For example, scalability of the transactions. Right now, if you go to the Ethereum network, which is one of the most used and where the most of the projects are, the problem there is that you have high transaction fees for that, and you also have at the same time, you have high transaction fees. You also have a limit in type of the amount of transactions you can have. So there's a scalability issue there. There's some working going on there for layer 2 networks, for example, Matic or other blockchains even, for example. But I think the market is ready. We need to make it friendly for users. I think that's the main thing we need to work on. But yeah, the market, at least for tradestars, which is talking about sports, the market is there. We need to bring the technology in a friendly way. But I think that we are in the right moment to do that.
Dan?
Yeah, I think the question of timing is, always one that is very pertinent when it comes to launching any kind of technology company. And with VeVe, we've been in development for a couple of years. And to be honest, I think right now the timing literally could not be better for us. I mean, it's unfortunate, what happened with COVID, but I guess for our particular business, there's been a little bit of an upside in the sense that people are staying more sort of separated now, and people are starting to communicate a lot more digitally, and VeVe offers another way to communicate like this. Also, in the NFT space, for those of you who follow that, obviously that is starting to get very, very popular now. When we started this business 3 years ago, this is exactly what we wanted to happen. Bring amazing digital collectible license NFTs to the market, and now I really think that the timing couldn't be better. In addition to that, throughout this year, Google has launched their new AR through the phone, where I think you can Google any animal's name or whatever, a dinosaur, and then you can drop those AR elements directly in your living room or wherever you are. And for us, that's been a huge advantage because it's literally exposed people to the fact that, hey, I can do AR on my phone anywhere, anytime. And now with VeVe, you can do all of that and more, but again, with your favorite characters, your favorite brands, in your own cool kind of showroom. So yeah, I think that, timing is always a very important thing, but I think for us, the timing is right.
Cool. So the reason I got into all this stuff really had to do with science fiction, right? And Neil Stephenson's Snow Crash, and the idea that we'll all have avatars that will exist in a third verse, and when we'll start to live a meaningful part of our life in that alternate parallel universe. And so we will no longer be bound by time and space, you know, and I'll no longer be bound by the person that's next to me. COVID's kind of shown this a little bit through the, you know, through the we'll call the Zoom reality, you know, which has its positives and definitely its negatives. You know, but I think that we're merging towards a place where we'll have avatars that can exist and can coexist with other avatars, you know, some of which represent individuals and some of which, you know, where individuals will have several avatars out there, which are programmatically and algorithmically behaving and enacting different parts of our life, you know, financial, entertainment, etc. And so, you know, what I'm looking forward to is the ability to start to, you know, when in physical goods, if I have my glasses for my wine and I have my dishes and my TV and my fireplace, they're all sitting in one place around me and they're tangible to me, and so they're present, you know, and there's the, you know, out of sight, out of mind kind of concept. And I think that you guys are all in different ways approaching this with what's going to end up becoming content in a bigger world. And in a different world, we're going to relate to each other. And I wonder whether you guys have thought forward, you know, into how you're going to fit into that type of universe. You know, and I think it's a different question for Ohnogi than it is for the other guys. But I think it's interesting to hear from different perspectives how you see that evolving over time. You know, and you know, what are your thoughts there, Kristen? You want to start?
Yeah, interesting question. I don't know. It's hard. I mean, what we are seeing at the adoption of NFTs and the technology itself allows to have a unique item, uniquely owned by users. This is happening for the first time in history. I think it's really a huge, I mean, it's a simple but a huge concept. I mean, it has a lot of consequences. You think that, for example, we can in future tokenize a portion of a land, and I don't know, investor in London could buy a piece of a land in Texas by doing a transfer in a digital, you know, from a digital wallet. So we need to, you know, there are some things that need to happen before that. Obviously, you know, laws and things that we need to overcome, but I'm seeing that this is an unstoppable technology. I mean, this could be applied to you know, could make any virtually liquid asset instantly liquid, and could be, you know, for example, if we can tokenize a player from Buenos Aires, we can add liquidity to that player, and we can enable investors in Japan to invest in a player in Buenos Aires. It's like crazy. It's never happened before. So I do think, and I expect, and I work for that. I'm sure that will happen in the following years.
Ohnogi, what's your perspective? How do you see this evolving from gaming to, you know, to real life?
Yeah, that's really good question to ask me in Third-verse, because that's actually the company vision.
Okay.
Why we named that Third-verse is, so, you know, people's life is totally dependent on their environment, right? If you know, born in an emerging country or more advanced country, your life is different, right? And so some people who want to be actually the different gender, or who want to be more athlete, something different in life totally, but it's not 100% happen. And someone might have another, you know, their ideal life. But what we are trying to provide is, you know, the people, they can be whatever they want to do. Sometimes they want to be, you know, for example, me, I'm going to be the female in the one game, and then actually, like, you know, more the female. But other game, I'm being like a rich person and I'm a businessman and talking. That kind of things we are going to provide to the users. That, you know, so many the third places. And try to make people happy, because, you know, every time, oh, I want to be, you know, something, I want to be something, I want to go to something, I want to go to somewhere, you know, I want to go to the history, you know, that kind of things, you know, we are trying to provide. And, you know, in real life, whatever they are, but they feel happy. That's what we are trying to do. That's our concept of the business.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Dan, talk. How does that? What's on your mind after you heard that, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I do agree with Ohnogi that you know, we're all going to end up in the Matrix one day. Absolutely. You know, would be a lot of fun. You know, I guess part of our business is that, you know, we always try to be very forward thinking. And that's why, you know, even with the app we have now, we have a lot of, you know, cutting edge technology in there, from AR through to crypto, blockchain, tokens, NFTs. And, you know, I mean, myself personally, I really am a fan of the future. I'm a futurist. And I feel that the way technology is going to evolve, at least over the next 5 years to 10 years, is that wearable devices that allow us to experience and enable AR in our everyday life will be the next, I guess, as you say, killer app. You know, we've had the phone and tablets and so forth around for the past sort of 10, 12 years. The next iteration of that will be wearable devices, where in those worlds we see, you know, number of 3D items. I mean, you know, James and Ohnogi, you touched on, you know, being able to look different. We already see that now with Snapchat, you know, with and Facebook with the different masks. And when we have wearable devices, which, let's face it, is inevitable, you know, all the major companies are working on it now, that is going to be part of our reality. And because of that, you know, part of VeVe's roadmap is that, you know, what we are selling is limited edition digital assets, 3D digital assets. Right now, the platform, the medium that you look at that is through the phone or through our app. But we really believe that the future is interoperable, and we will continue to sell these amazing branded products that one day could adorn your body or be on your wall or be outside or whatever. So yeah, I think, you know, James, that really is the next wave of technology that's coming, and one that I believe or hope that we've sort of positioned ourselves quite well for.
I'm getting excited listening. So that's fantastic. So guys, talk to me, like what would you guys be asking each other, and what should I be asking you? Because you guys are taking this so far differently than I expected.
I don't know. I mean, I'm interested in how you guys see the NFT space evolving. Actually, I see that. I mean, this is, as I said, it's a simple concept that has many implications here, and we are just, you know, this is the tip of the iceberg. I do believe that these have many applications in the following years, and obviously we are in a pre-massive, let's say, because all the things are happening between, I mean, in a crypto, you know, community, let's say. The challenge is to open the doors to the massive public, I believe. But how you think that will evolve when that happens?
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, NFTs really are going to be almost like crypto 2.0. You know, they're, especially in the non-fungible side, you know, like you've got a Batman where you might, you know, if you don't like Batman, you might not pay any more than $5 for it. But if you're an absolute Batman maniac, you might pay $100, $1,000, $10,000 for it. But, you know, the real advantage with NFTs as well is, you know, even goes like way beyond collectibles, you know, the ability to tokenize all parts, all aspects of our lives. You know, Chris, similar to what you were saying before, you know, the fractional tokenization, you know, that's the future of, you know, potentially public transport, where you buy a fractional part of a token of you know, Tesla's next drivable car, and you earn, you know, you get revenue from that. So tokenization, yeah, I really think it's going to change the economics of how the world works, and will allow and I guess enable people to really start divesting and making money in very different ways. I mean, number one, you know, I hate to keep promoting our Batmans, but, you know, come and buy an edition Batman, you know, one that could be worth $10,000. So yeah, it's a very
I do the same with Messi. Always my example is Messi.
I thought it was Maradona. Wait a minute.
No. It's Messi. I always say Messi. Like, I don't know.
I'm with you. I'm just giving you a hard time because you're Argentinian. I wasn't going to bring up, you know, the real Ronaldo. Ohnogi, you know, this is really interesting as it moves towards you, because you're in VR, you know, which is the cool space, which is its own world, which offers the opportunity for people once they're in there to start to experience and be marketed to and be attracted to in a holistic sense, right? And what you really need is content in that world in order for people to interact with it. So when they talk about NFTs, what they're really talking about is, you know, own your data, own the content. Like the old style of game, I would go on and I play FIFA Ultimate Team, like, and I've wasted thousands of dollars, you know, over the years on those players. And every year EA comes back to me and says, sorry, you start at zero again. You know, my pocket's open, shovel some more money in, right? And what's coming around now with NFTs and blockchain is the ability for me to build elements and then post them on Dan's site, you know, and develop them on Christian's site, and then to trade them with other people, having different senses of value and continuity between the different elements and the different environments where I go to. Do you see that becoming an important aspect of gaming, and will you be moving your platform in that direction, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Because you know, when I was involved in more blockchain gaming, then sometimes do the kind of speech, and then you know, the still gaming is, you know, parents hate. If the kids play, they always say just study. But in the future, you know, kids might earn money as long as they play game. And then other part is, you know, the artist and or creator, they have a more opportunity to earn money. Still, even music, whatever, like, you know, indie creator made something, but big guy just copy it. Because there's, you know, we don't know who made it originally, but that's, you know, the fundamental blockchain technologies. And then virtual world, you know, I think in the, you know, the direction wise that going to be happen in the future, but we need, you know, reach out the mass market, and then many people have to be in that environment. That's we are trying to realize right now.
Yeah, James, I think you touched on a really good point, which is that in the end, it really all comes down to content. You know, there's going to be many different platforms out there available. You know, Ohnogi, as you mentioned, Facebook have brought out the Quest 2, very, very cool experience. Once that becomes available, where, you know, people can start bringing in their own content and start, you know, laying out their own virtual worlds. You know, that's really where I think we start to see a lot more people coming in. I mean, you know, you look at games like Animal Crossing, very simple game, been around for a long time, but it was so popular because people could create and customize their own environments, and all of that stuff is done with content. So I think that's a huge driver for this, you know, this future of AR and VR moving forward.
So I think it's really interesting what you're saying, you know, because I have the Quest that I bought for $800 or whatever they leased me for, and, you know, I use it, but I wear glasses, so it's a little awkward, you know. And I went in there and I didn't really find any content that I wanted, and they weren't really able to get me to spend, right, which I thought was kind of interesting. So I never really got into the using the platform because I never paid the $49 to get into World. So I looked at some of the lounges, and I ended up using my expensive rig to play poker, which I could have done on my iPhone, right? And so to me, I haven't, you know, I know that it's there and it's lurking, but they haven't seduced me yet, right? And I haven't got to that point of where I'm seduced and I'm there and I'm willing to go through the pain point of putting on the camera and sitting there and having everyone in my house saying I'm being antisocial, right? And there's all kinds of things which I think are barriers right now. So we have about 5 more minutes. What I'd like you guys to talk about is what's the barrier that you need to break through to get to mass adoption, and then I'll give you each like a 1 minute to have the mic for yourself. You know, so I'll stop talking.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I can kick off on that one. I remember I read a really good book by a guy by the name of Peter Diamandis called Bold, and in that book he was talking about PayPal and, you know, how they basically got to where they were. And, you know, the key thing that he believed to get technology into the masses really comes down to one thing, which is UI, user interface. It has to be easy. You know, you look at any technology, even crypto when it began, it was super, super difficult. You know, you had to be, you know, nerd level 9,000 to be able to do it. But now there's so many more people in blockchain because it's so much more accessible. You know, we have easy to use wallets, easy to use exchanges. And, you know, even now we're starting to see, even with VeVe, it's an easier way for you to interact with NFTs than you normally typically would. So I think this, you know, this is really a key driver and needs to be a key focus on any technology company. You know, we all know a lot of blockchain companies out there. And they offer very, very good tech, but sometimes they may not get the uptake because the UI is not there, you know, the usability. And that really, no matter how, if your technology is super great, but people can't use it, it's really probably doomed to failure.
Yeah, I agree with that. I see two or three struggles here, pain points, let's say. One is the payments, because if you need to have a wallet, you need to buy crypto to use some of the platforms. So we need to have fiat on-ramp solutions, very easy, like Stripe. We need to have a Stripe in crypto for allowing users to easy pay something. And the other thing is scalability, which we're looking at right now. I mean, we can have a massive product right now on Ethereum, for example, because it's just you know, you can scale. So and people is working on this. This is happening, and then there are, I mean, Ethereum 2 is coming, and there are other second layer solutions on top of that, other blockchains. But I see that scalability is one thing, and obviously to hide that layer of, you know, having a wallet and getting crypto to use, I think that's one of the main pain points from that you know, you need to overcome in order to have a massive product.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Chris, with especially with the fiat onboarding. You know, with crypto apps, there's that huge barrier that you have. I mean, it's not so huge nowadays, but you know, it's still fairly insurmountable for some people. You know, even to buy your first ETH or your first BTC. So being able to remove that barrier, you know, like we're doing through VeVe, allowing people to basically buy everything with an in-app purchase, but that obviously still triggers you know, all of the necessary blockchain and crypto in the back end. It's all still there. It's all still relevant. It's all still accessible. But there's this layer over the top that makes it very digestible. So yeah, I think that is a very good point about the fiat onboarding.
I mean, from one side, the technology is amazing. I mean, it allows us to have your unique for yourself. I mean, it's your wallet. You control it. You have to know your key, you know, to do that. So we need to hide that in order for normal people to use it. It's very hard because you need to find a balance between the two words, right?
Ohnogi?
Yes. So
what barriers need to come down to make it easier for you?
Yeah, it's many things, but you know, I'm the very strong VR believer, and then VR going to be the next generation computing system, not only gaming, but also business, education, you know, medical, many things people gonna use. But I think it's same as like a smartphone came up. What is people started spending money is actually game, right, on the smartphone, and then game is actually the biggest the portion people spend money on the smartphone, and then VR is, I think it's the same. Entertainment is very important. People are really into it. But you know, when the Nintendo released Nintendo Switch, we actually doubted it's going to be popular or not. But what they did was actually bundle with you know, big IP called Zelda, the big game. And then there were so many users, you know, already. And then people started buying the device. That's why VR, we need to, you know, improve many technologies, like, you know, eye tracking, you know, the hand tracking, many stuff, but still we need to provide the, you know, solid game, which people never experience at the entertainment side. That's the one of the challenges or barrier. We should just, you know, go through.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is just each of you just quickly just give a URL and a way people can reach you if they wanted to learn more or they wanted to onboard or try your game. You know, where would they go? Dan?
Yep. If you want to learn more information, head over to veve.me, that's VEVE.me, and sign up for the waitlist, and we look forward to having you on board.
Okay.
Awesome. In my case, it's https://tradestars.app, and you can register there and play.
Fantastic.
Yes.
We don't have a good homepage, but you can reach out with me, like Ohnogi@cloudgrass.io. That's my email.
I'm gonna reach out there. So.
You should reach out to Ohnogi. Everyone should reach out to Ohnogi.
Guys, thank you so much. This was fantastic. I really appreciate it. I got some great quotes. We're all going to end up in the Matrix. It's going to go on my business card.
Hopefully.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
And I'm actually going to, Jim, you know who hasn't talked about themselves at all? You. So tell us a little bit about Jim and PALCapital. I think that's a note I want to end up on. You've been very generous with your time and sponsoring and getting these great guests on. So let's tell us something.
I really appreciate that, Gordon. So, I've been focused on businesses that are going to benefit from the digitization of information for the last 25 years. I formed my company in 1996. When I first formed it, everyone said to me, that's not a business. And now everyone says to me, that's every business. So the idea really is, as I spoke before about Snow Crash and Neil Stephenson, is that I think that we're evolving to a world where political, social, economic, religious boundaries, educational boundaries are no longer going to be limiting for us. And where we're going to all live in a world where we can deal with each other person to person, regardless of where we're born or what religion or what sex or we are. And so I'm looking forward to, I look at blockchain and distributed ledger technology not as a technology, but as an enabling force. And the changes that we're seeing are not about the technology, but they're about people and the needs that we have to escape from the controls of the centralized authorities that we're dealing with. And it shows up in fractals everywhere in what we're dealing with. In this conversation, one of the interesting points was NFTs are cool. Everything's going to get tokenized. Everything's going to be digitized. Everything's going to be tradable and ownable. But how do you onboard? Because the governments are controlling how you go from fiat to tokens, right? Yeah. So all the conversations we have hit upon this need for us to start to grab control of our daily existence and our daily owning our own assets and owning our right to communicate. I believe that the essential right to freedom of speech boils down to most essentially, how do you hold your money and how do you spend your money? Because money is the ultimate expression of freedom of speech. So
would you even say that money is speech?
Money is how you spend your money is the ultimate expression of freedom of speech. Because you might lie to people about what you're thinking and doing, but you don't lie how you spend your money. You spend your money how you want to express yourself. And that's where governments are controlling us right now. And that's where this crypto distributed ledger world allows us to decentralize and to express ourselves with other individuals, again, around politics, society, the economy, religion, education. And I could start to be more free without censorship, which is what these controls are. And so I've collected businesses around me and working with people to create the way for individuals, institutions to start to participate in the changes that are happening in the world, both to participate in these communities. And also what I focus on is creating liquidity strategies which enable individuals and institutions to invest in these with their time and their money and their passion.
Interesting. And where does the name PALCapital come from? PAL.
That's a long story. So PALCapital is actually Pacific Alliance Limited. I used to do emerging markets I opened, Bear Stearns' office in Hong Kong.
Right, we talked about
this
that.
company in China, the list on the New York Stock Exchange. And so I had a partnership with a bunch of guys in Asia, which was going to be a bridge between Asia and the United States. And then I was too lazy to change the URL.
Lazy people get stuff done.
Well, I had other things to focus on, like Steve Jobs. I only wear black because I don't got time for anything else. So
I like it. And what's your? I understand the general gestalt of being interested in digital and escaping from centralized authority. You seem to have a particular affinity for games and VR and AR. You haven't said that, but I'm picking up that vibe. Is that right?
Well, because I think that the way that we define ourselves is changing over time, right? It used to be defined by where I was born, who my mother was, and what little town I was born in, and that's growing more and more global. So now that I can, as Nogi said, and I loved it, I can be, a smart woman on one site, and experience that and be that personality and let that be a part of me. And on another site, I could actually be, a smart athlete that can dunk. Like how great it would be if I could actually jump high enough to dunk, right? So I believe that this technology is going to enable us to express ourselves. I believe this is all about free will and imagination and enabling people to live the life that they want to live. And I believe that that I'll start to actually earn my living in the third verse, right? That my living will no longer be, and this is happening in the Zoomverse, right? Right. So I'm sitting in Vermont.
Wait, actually, can I pause? Let me pause you 1 second. You used that term before, and as I'm muted, I have my video off, but I strongly smile to myself because not only is it clever, but it kind of points to the incremental nature of technological evolution. The fact that it spaces out over time, it doesn't happen all at once. So by the time it happens, it doesn't feel like the future anymore. It just feels like, wait, yeah, duh, obviously. And so you're right. We've been sort of shunted off into the Zoom-like matrix. I mean, I'm not actually in a room speaking with you. Well, actually, I am in a room speaking with you, but you're not in the room.
I'm in a room and you're speaking, but I'm not. You know, and so, but the nature of what it means to be present is changing.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I feel present with you now.
Right.
I mean,
right. Gordon, we've never met physically, and you're my friend, right?
That's scary. Are you a deep fake or are you like a real guy?
Exactly. I'm actually.
It's an NFT avatar, actually.
Right, but you know, it's all going to evolve like that. You know, and now they're coming around with deep fakes, right? Where there's AI, where I'll be able to create a deep fake Nogi, you know, who could sit there and pontificate to me about the third verse, and Nogi, you know, bowling with his kids, right? So, you know, I just think that the nature of what does it mean to be present, and how do you accomplish and how you start to multitask, and how you can start to create these family of avatars that represent you at its core, but are able to act simultaneously beyond your physical being and beyond your mind space. And so I think that this leads to a, you know, it's not here now and it'll happen differently than we expect, but I think the future will be different than the past, right? And I think that it takes a little bit to accept that, you know, and people don't realize things are happening until after it's happened. That's one of the realities of human nature. Right, you know, it's not so. Oh my God, it's already happened, and then you realize you're doing it. And I think these gentlemen on the, you know, in this panel are all part of that. Right, Christian's giving me the chance to monetize and be excited and passionate about my knowledge in sports, and Dan's letting me interact with my lifelong love of Batman. I'll throw it in there for you, Dan. And, you know, and you know, and Nogi's going to build the world where I can have an avatar where I have hair. Right, and I can dunk, right, and you know, and people think I'm smart, right? I can't wait. But,
no, I don't know. That's like quantum level VR, James. I don't know. They gotta wait another couple years.
I don't know. I don't know if Nogi's that good, but we'll find out really soon, right?
I hear James.
Whatever you want to be.
Yeah. Quantum VR, where we're all really good looking.
No, I have hair. I have hair. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. And then just to keeping the light on you for a second, how did you hook up with this conference? Do you know Julia? Do you know Ivan? You really stepped up for this, you know, these sessions here. This is great.
I think I met Juliet in Davos, but the truth is I don't remember anymore. Everything, my whole past is blurred into one single moment, like a singularity.
Let me play off that point. You made a nice comment, like you and I have never been in the same meet space, but you know, we're friends clearly. Yeah. That's evocative of something else I felt recently. We were just, with all these traveling and all these conferences, when I meet someone and I know them, I can't quite remember if we ever first met on social media or in person.
Right.
And when I meet someone, you know, after social media, it's like, it takes me a moment to realize it's the first actual meeting them. It's the weirdest thing. And there's like this frisson, you know, what's the boundaries of our world? You know, I always used to, you know, slightly sarcastically view things like Second Life and VR. I'm like, come on, losers, just like go out there and go to the gym.
Hey, wait a minute.
No, hold on. No, okay, listen, you know, I'm not pure, I play Civilization. So, but you know, it was more like I was talking to myself. It's like, hey, loser, go to the gym. But I mean, the fact that in a pandemic, we can have this conference, you can form the relationship with Juliet and Ivan and this organization and just do it shows the positive. Right. You know, every tool has ups and downs, but it shows that strong positive upside. So I appreciate your passion and your vision.
Closing thought for this session, and maybe for, you know, for the conference.
Cool conference, yeah.
And answering the question about how we got here, you know, with the people here and the sessions we did for the last couple hours. I really believe in paying it forward, and that the new distributed ledger world gives you currency beyond just fiat, where you can really benefit and create a livelihood and a network by paying it forward and getting together with passionate people who believe in the same things you believe in, And really what we're building globally through Distributed Ledger is a shared universe where we can start to create. And I think that we're about to start, the next, the crypto or cyber industrial revolution, where we're just going to see every time that humanity has thought we've maxed out and you can't get any more efficient and there can't be another quantum growth in change and in love, and in learning and education, that something else comes along that proves everyone wrong. That's a paradigm shift. And I think we're in the middle of that now. And I think the important thing is to pay it forward, to involve people in your community, to grow your network, and then learn how to work together to create new forms of organizations where we can all prosper together.
You're right, that was perfect. Everyone, we're gonna end Digital Week Online with some wisdom from James Haft. And I wanna thank all our panelists. I wanna thank our organizers. I wanna thank everyone who stuck with us through the multi-day event, which makes me kind of go back to the organizers. Ivan, you and the whole crew there did, I think you're on mute, my friend. You and the whole crew there did amazing work. This is just heroic. You're like Atlas.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gordon.
Thanks to the organizers.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, James. Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys. Amazing.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Cool. That's it, Daniel.